Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. This time we're going to go over the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Abomination Wave from Hasbro. We're going to go over all these figures from worst to best, with the Build-A-Figure Abomination at the end. We'll see who's the Abomination, and who's the Sensation. Let's get to it. So in last place is Miss Marvel, and I find that she isn't really up to snuff with the other one. There is a different figure that came out a while ago that is just a way better version of Miss Marvel. This Miss Marvel is pretty good, don't get me wrong, yet she just doesn't really have the oomph I really expect that figures should have. She has same articulation as before, but her colors are really dim, and the only thing I really like about her is the boots. The boots are really nice. They look pretty cool. I love these straps over here. I just find that she's just sort of lackluster compared to the other version of Miss Marvel. She also comes with the effect pieces that we have on her. You could switch out her arms. She comes with alternate hands that are the same as the other Miss Marvel figure, but they're just kind of blander and less colorful. Here's Miss Marvel with some updated face printing, and I find it just to be okay. There's a little smudge in her cheek over here, and that's kind of disappointing. Her hair is really dark, not really too much wash or anything in it, and it's kind of just not really that great. The face printing is also kind of pixelated a little bit. Here they are next to each other, and I find that I like the one from the comic better than the one from the game, and it's just kind of disappointing to me. It's a shame, because this figure could have been way better. Next up is Rage, and he's pretty okay, yet I have no clue who he is or anything about him. His articulation is fine, as usual, and it's just kind of... I don't even know who he is. That's my one big complaint about him. His jacket can come off, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. I think his belt might be able to come off. I haven't gotten his hands off to get any these bracers off. And for me, he's kind of a glorified parts pack. And it's just kind of a bummer that I don't even know who he is. It's a shame. I don't really read the comics too much. I like the face, kind of, if I could say a good thing about him. His face is pretty cool, although his nose is a different color than the rest of his face, which is kind of weird. The mask is really nice. It looks cool. But overall, Rage is just kind of just there. He's just not really the coolest guy, I think. Here he is next to Crossbones and Night Thrasher. While Rage isn't really that useful, there is one use you can have of him. Just take off his jacket all the way. And this is what a lot of people have been doing. And you put it on Crossbones, and it looks way better. You may have to actually cut off the yellow on there and just get your thumbnail, fingernail, whatever, and just scrape it all off to have an entirely black jacket. But this is actually really cool, and it's actually a really nice custom you can do to add this jacket to him. It fills him out a little more, and here's Rage. I might just try to take the hands off and just sell him that way. Iron Man's next, and I like him a lot, but it just kind of, his articulation leaves some to be desired. These shoulder pads get in the way. The head is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Missed opportunity. You could have had the sort of like ball-jointed chest. That could have been it. That could have been great. You didn't even need this here. You don't need this here. You just have a little rotating free joint. That would have been amazing. The hands are back. The hands that sort of flop in and out. They're not just static pose like this. You can actually pose them again, which is wonderful. His legs are pretty okay. Decent articulation, like decent being the nicest word I could say about it. Really weird kind of ankle joint here. I mean, you get it kind of posed well, but it just kind of crackly in a way. Not that it would break or anything. As far as accessories go, he comes with these two blasts over here, which are nice. They're a nice kind of sort of icy blue. You also have fists that he can have, and that's pretty much it. He's a pretty okay Iron Man. I kind of like his arc reactor here, but his head is really strange. It bothers me a lot. It looks very alien-like instead of sort of more friendly and humanoid. But this Iron Man is just okay. To compare him, I also have this Iron Man over here from the 80th anniversary line. This guy is way better. He's wonderful. This guy is just okay. He'll probably go somewhere in my little Hall of Armor display or something, or my Iron Man display. But he's a little better than the other figures, yet I wouldn't see myself using him too much for posing. Captain Mar-Vell here. Mar-Vell is pretty standard. He doesn't really come with anything though, and that's a bummer. It's just kind of sort of run of the mill. We come into these bracers again, which are from the other Mar-Vell figure with all the speckles on him, the little star speckles. And it's just alright. It's on the, which body is this? There's a billion bodies. I would say the Grim Reaper body. And it's a good figure, good body. They kind of got past the whole shoulders crashing into the other part of the shoulder type of thing, the shoulder balls. And this guy is pretty good. You can live with or without these right here. He doesn't come with any other hands or accessories or anything, which is disappointing. And his waist is kind of gappy and weird. Yet, he's a good figure, and at least better than some of the rest. Here's him with Carol Danvers, Captain Mar-Vell. They both look good together. I like him. He's good, just not the best. Gamerverse Captain America is next, and I find that he's really cool. He has pretty good articulation. He has that same kind of shoulder problem that Iron Man has, yet his look is much more inspired. It's a more tactical Captain America. And yeah, there's some issues with this elbow guard running into his arm. And, I mean, there's a gun hand with no gun. But I find that this guy might be slept on a little bit. You know, people are not going to notice that he's actually pretty good. For my purposes of this guy, I'm going to use him for my John Walker U.S. agent kind of character. In a way, put him in my Dark Avengers or something as the sort of anti-Cap. And there's face printing on this guy, which is pretty cool. It looks nice. Kind of looks a little Chris Evans-y, which is nice. You got some wings over here. It's kind of a cool earpiece. The American flag's backwards, which is interesting. That's funny. Wonder if it's a misprint. He comes with a shield. And this shield's pretty cool. It's very red, which sort of offsets any red that would be on this guy. There's no really red on this guy. You got a clip on the bottom and a weird kind of apparatus here to help it hold in better, I guess. You can clip it onto his arm, but I don't really want to because you might break it. You can't really clip it on his wrist because it's going to fall off. I'd rather him hold it right here or maybe store it on his back like usual. His back is pretty detailed, which is nice. You can give him a gun because he has a gun-holding hand. Just put that in there. And you have your gun-toting sort of Captain America, or in my case, U.S. agent. He's pretty cool, and you could put like shield heads on him and make him look different and give him a different identity and stuff. Actually, this body's pretty nice. Here's another Captain America that I have, and they both have similar color schemes, and I think they're both affiliated with S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. And just want to point that out. They both have the flag. Not on each side, but they both have the flag at least. Mach-1 is next, and man, is this guy cool. I love how he looks. The white and the blue is beautiful. It's all steely and kind of really just, it's nice. I just find this guy to be awesome, and a really high bar up from the previous Beetle figures, because some of them had really bad joints on the leg, and I'm really glad that they ironed that problem out as well. Mar-Vell is really, really just figuring out how to do things right, and I'm really glad that happened. I love this face. His face is really cool. You got this sort of like, it's like an insect. It's like a beetle. Hey, it's a beetle. It's very just cool. A lot of tubes, a lot of red, a lot of white and blue, and this little antenna right here. And the backpack, it's sort of glued on in a way, or just sort of fastened on. You can't take it off at all. But it's just a really nice figure that I find is just really cool. And the Thunderbolts symbol is really good printed on here. There's a little smudgy right here, but it's fine. A little battle damage, a little cool stuff. My only complaint about him is that he comes with these hands that have nothing to hold in them, and that's just kind of a shame. His articulation's really good. There's a couple scuffs over here in my wing, which is a bummer, but it doesn't really detract from the fact that this guy is wonderful. Awesome, and kind of completes my Thunderbolts. I'm really glad. I have a bunch of other Thunderbolts guys to show off. Also, other versions of Beetle. You got the Ultimate Beetle with silver over here. You got Abner Jenkins Beetle, I believe. Falling over a little bit. There's a lot of reuse and mold on this figure right over here. Nothing's really the same for this guy over on this guy. He takes more from the alternate incarnation than he does the classic incarnation, which is pretty cool. And I like having all these beetles here together. This guy's actually really worth it to get. Maybe give him some guns or something and he's good. Oh, we need one more and we get to the Fab 4. Last but not least, we have the Leader. Leader's really cool. I love how he, just everything about him. I love everything about him. He looks really nice. I love the yellow. I love the orange. I love the orange. Yes, the orange is the best part because, it's my logo and everything. And you got the green head, the huge green head. It's really nice. They didn't go with the sort of broccoli version of his head, which I don't mind. I like this version way better and looks really cool. He's on the Mr. Fantastic body from the original Mr. Fantastic way back when, a couple years ago. It's just nice. It's a wonderful figure, and it's beautiful. It's Leader. We finally have Leader in our collection, and he can go fight the Hulk. He can fight the Avengers. He has gun-holding hands with no guns, and the lack of accessories in this wave is a big disappointment to me. I just find that it isn't really conducive to figures. If they cut the Build-A-Figure part out and gave more accessories, that might be pretty cool. Make Abomination a deluxe figure or something. But yeah, this guy's really nice. And what's even cooler about him, you can take off his arms, take off his head, sort of customize him a little bit, take this off, even more classicer, if that is actually a term that someone would use, even more classicer version of Leader. Maybe give him different arms or something. Maybe take the belt off. But it looks like the Leader that's right over here, actually. And this Leader was my first Leader. I got him with the Hulk. I sold the Hulk, and now I just have Leader. I mean, if we had more of this kind of body with less yellow, maybe turn the yellow into gold or something, it would look better. But this is a way more classic version of Leader. Maybe take the belt off, but that would kind of just... Nothing's really under the belt, is it? I might sell this one because this one just really does it for me. It kind of feels incomplete without this little chest piece, so I'm just going to put that back on. But yeah, Leader's my number one, and he's phenomenal. Get him. And last but not least, we have Abomination, a figure so big I had to move my camera back and change everything up a little bit. Alright, so Abomination, he is huge and big, and the Gamerverse version, and his face is horrible. I just gotta point that out. First and foremost, his face is just abominable. Yeah, this guy is just... I'm not a fan at all. I mean, there are some ways I could use him. Like, if, for example, you could put him into your movie display, and he would look like the Abomination from that movie, the Blonsky Abomination from that movie. Other than that, he's really cool. His articulation's hindered by these spikes, yet the spikes are just okay. They're kind of rubbery, which is actually pretty good. No breakage, and you don't really hurt yourself too much on them. There's actually little points you could find out where the spikes are, like there's a little strip of spikes right here. That's because you have to do the solid and then the rubber, and that's pretty nice. A lot of spikes on him. I love the amount of spikes on him. It's great. His feet articulation is kind of left to be desired. A little loose on my end. I don't know if that's my figure or not, but this guy's pretty cool. I like him a lot. He's huge, really big, surprisingly big. He has articulation that's kind of interesting. It's a swivel here, a swivel there, and that's kind of funny. It isn't just a straight up thing. You could actually sort of... He's very posable, which is really nice. You got his legs, which are pretty good articulation, actually. There's a hidden joint over here, joints over here. His legs are really pretty good. You got his foot, and I love this little raptor claw kind of thing on his foot. That's really cool. They could have painted his toes. They could have painted his claws. That would have made for a better figure, at least. Paint these up here, maybe, or something. A little more paint, he would have been great. He's just sort of so-so. He's not the best Build-A-Figure. He's not the worst Build-A-Figure. Let's compare him. Here he is next to the Comic Abomination and Leader, and I find that he's just huge. It's wonderful how big he is. I do like the Comic Abomination a little bit more, though, just because it's a little more classic. And the ears, it's all about the ears. If they had big ears on this Abomination, it would be beautiful. You actually can swap the heads on these guys. My only issue with this guy is that he has a very, very long neck peg. You can kind of fudge the head in, yet it just doesn't really work that great. The color scheme doesn't really match up too well. With some paint, you can fudge it, but it just doesn't really work out that well, and that's real big shame. They really had better reuse this body and revisit it down the line for a different figure sometime. Leader looks good next to him, but he also looks good next to this guy too. And I think I'm going to use this guy as my movie Abomination from now on. Here he is next to my Endgame MCU Hulk that's customized with the jacket and the arms from Kingpin and Lizard. And we also got the 80th anniversary Hulk. They scale really well with this guy. I'm finding that he could go toe to toe with the MCU Hulk and the comic Hulk if he wants. You can put this guy in different displays. You can put this guy in everywhere. The body's great. The head is just so-so. But I like how they're scaling their figures up a little bit, which is nice. So that's my review on all these guys. Overall, it's a kind of a mixed bag once again. We have a nice little set of good characters, bad characters, characters we could fudge into other displays or not, mostly focused on the Gamerverse side of things, yet getting some comic figures in there as well that we sorely needed. Leader is amazing. I love how he looks. He's great. He could have used maybe a gun or two, something futuristic, maybe purple, Domino's guns. Who knows? But yeah, he's just a really cool figure, and I love how he looks. Mach-1 is brilliant. He has great wings. He has a cool color scheme, literally with the blue, like ice and the white. He's got these really cool red eyes. He has this antenna. He has this really imposing menace to him. The wings are beautiful. Sure, a couple paint chips on mine, but hey, that doesn't stop him from being a great figure. He's cool. Cap is surprising. I never thought I'd like a Gamerverse figure like him. A nice surprise. His shield's a little too red, maybe, but his tactical outfit is awesome. You could make it into some kind of a shield agent or something like that. He's very customizable and sort of bland in a way, but on purpose, where you can kind of turn him into different characters if you want. I'm making him my John Walker U.S. agent. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Captain Mar-Vell is very so-so, in the middle, kind of just there. We needed him, which is great, but he could have been so much more. A couple bad joints on mine make him not so great, yet I love the hair, I love how he looks, and it's just the articulation that kind of falters on mine at least. And he could have used more accessories too. Power effects even. Different hands. Whatever. Just something. Iron Man is alright. He is a step down from previous Iron Man. His face is kind of weird. And I just think his color scheme's a little muted, which is on purpose. There's something about him that doesn't really ring a really good bell, at least. Rage is an unknown to me. I like his jacket only because I could put it on Crossbones, and I just don't like the rest of the figure. It's just very to me. There's nothing really special about him. So is Miss Marvel. She's a letdown to me. She's the same exact thing as we saw before, except worse. Darker hair, muted clothing. It's just not the coolest thing in the world. It's very samey. The boots are the only thing, and I'm probably going to just go swap them the second that this review's over and be done with the figure. Abomination is awesome, imposing, big, huge, cool. Could use more paint, yet I think he's a very good standout. They gotta reuse his sculpt later on for a comic Abomination with a different head, and he would be just perfect and excellent. I've also seen people use him with Goblin, and he's awesome too. Different head, swap that head on him, put some fire on him, and it looks like Ultimate Goblin, which is amazing. And yeah, that's a really good Build-A-Figure right there. Huge, imposing, scaly, sculpt, paint, articulation. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching and keep being creative. Stay tuned.